is terrible news for everyone. Another Rantsona has hit the towers. Another goddamn Rantsona. This one's doing, you know, the same thing as all the other ones. This one's called, I don't know, Squid Guy. Fat acceptance and body acceptance. You can't be fat. You can't have a body. Chat, you have to have a body like a squid, or else you're not good enough. Very excited for this.
To leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe.
It's crazy to start videos like that. It's crazy to start videos by saying, please subscribe immediately. You didn't do anything yet. You haven't done anything.
Subscribe. Thank you.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's text to speech, but this is definitely a poorly. Wow, you bought? Did you freeboot that? Did you download this asset illegally and only get the 360p intro? This is your HD upload. You got the fucking. This is what the fuck? Is that an illegally downloaded like template for an intro? Usually those come in like high definition. You're gonna get You're gonna metastasize it? Oh, damn.
Hello everyone, welcome back to a Megon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Today we're going to be responding to two videos from one
What the fuck is happening? This is awful. This is so bad. Wow, this is like canned ass audio. The fuck?
user. One about
cringe Thulu.
Body positivity and one about fat positivity. Yes, apparently they're two totally different things in this instance, and we must speak of them. There shall be no confusion in this, I promise. Although I've no doubt there will be from somebody. It just won't.
I feel like I have to try really hard to hear what he's saying.
Be me.
Go. Like the way that audio is like fucking like something they do with it. I don't know. My life, I used to watch this motherfucker years ago. Are you telling me he's been doing this for years?
Go.
With 8,000? Sean, I'm not surprised. Years of this?
Hello.
Go.
Is this a new one? This is his first. Wait, this is his second one. That's why. Does he have a different channel where he has
Hello everyone. Well,
where he has more subscribers? I originally made this channel serve as an archive for the other one. A snowflake free zone. Wow. No cringe here. So 230 videos on this fucking channel? Holy shit. So he lost this is the second channel. Did he lose the other channel, or is it just like he uploads a fucking lot here though. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, here's this video. Here's the main one. Please tell me this is 118K? Does he does Steve Shives content, dude? 5 months ago he did a Steve Shives video? What? And he wears, he has like armor. This is so cringe, man. His little outfits.
Let's talk about body positivity and body acceptance.
Yay. This is one of my favorite subjects at the moment, mostly because it seems on TikTok all the introverts have found their own little space where they can make it seem like they're anything but introverted.
Is this guy an extrovert? But he's hiding his face. I covered this guy 3+ years ago. I did? How memorable. Wow. What did he say? Same shit? Same dumb shit? Literally the exact same thing he's been saying the whole time? I did not remember. I've never seen this in my life. It got deleted. I've never seen this. Lies.
I guarantee every single one of the people who make these kind of videos are INTJ to Fook. And then you invariably get
INTJ to Fook. So personality. Why? I don't know. don't even know what that means because I'm not a dork.
Spotted by.
I mean, I know that it's like here's that stupid personality test, but like, do people take those seriously? Does anyone listen to those?
The number of Twitter accounts shared about, and then I decide, oh whoa, what do we have here?
Body respect. Some of the differences between these terms.
Generally speaking, one of them is the umbrella term for the other two, but I understand when it comes to labels, many like to separate them and make them seem like they're truly individual and unique. It's why we have 1,000 genders, which now go into the realm of grammar and inanimate objects.
You're a squid guy. What the fuck? Who cares? I mean, the reason there's 1,000 genders plus is just because each person is uniquely experiencing their existence. And like, you don't have to. You can just assume that most people are gonna fall into some form of binary or outside or
My
or
corn
be
is
like
so moist that it's actually dripping.
or be like I'm just non-binary. I don't deserve the binary. You can assume that most people, 99% of people, are gonna fall into binary or not binary, right? So man, woman, or femme, mask, and some kind of non-binary. No matter how queer they are, this is usually what people fall into. Sometimes you have like a fourth tertiary category of people who will have other stuff going on, but like if that's the case, it's not like you don't have the thing with these anti-SJW guys, man. Like you don't even have to acknowledge and know anything about all of them. You don't have to like get in the nitty gritty. The odds of you interacting with somebody that you're gonna have to have any sort of like specific like thing you gotta learn is so low. It's just about like the ethic of people can live their life in whatever way they want. I don't give a fuck. I have no opinion on how you should dress or act or whatever. Like it's about freedom. Just be free. I have no idea how they cannot get around this thought of just like people have freedom. You can just be free to be whatever you want. I don't care. Don't give a shit. Like such a naturalist on this. Man, the Illithid really went downhill after the new edition. Aquaman Thulu. Yeah, he's just stealing assets from everybody.
So we hear body positivity a lot, and
I stopped caring about micro labels when I realized it did not affect my life whatsoever. Well, this is what I mean. Like, some people want a specific micro label, and you should respect that. But most people are not asking you to understand their deeply held, like, nuanced view on gender. They just want you to treat them like a person, like the person they are. Like just use their name and pronouns. Is it? It's not hard. You don't have to fully understand it to also feel like, well, that person should have the freedom to live how they want. I feel that for me. Oh no.
I love the energy of it.
I can agree with an aspect of that. The idea of being comfortable and empowered with the body you have, sure. However, there is a version of body positivity that can also be called body negativity, and that's where the issues arise, especially on social media, for those who champion body positivity as being typically the more extreme size, as in bigger, in case it wasn't obvious enough. But the sentiment of your statement, sure, nothing wrong with that in the slightest. Can I help you, Tilly? Meow? Yeah. Who's a good kitty? Yeah, you
Best part of the
know.
video.
Meow?
And it's just got nothing
I
on the
love-
screen. Best part of the video, nothing on the screen.
Yes, let us be positive. Let us be delighted in our bodies.
Based on the amount of content currently produced on your account, I'm more inclined to believe you're quite new to the internet, so it allows me to give you a lesson about what the internet thinks about that. No, Papa Swell was right. Go to the gym. That is what a vast swath of people will say.
So, yeah, you're just not listening to what the words are. So, if they don't... So, what this person is saying is, I don't feel the need to go to the gym. I feel good with my body. I like my body. I don't want to be your ideal. I want to be my ideal. And their ideal is someone who has a bigger body, and you can't wrap your head around that. And it's just crazy to me. Like, they don't have to agree with you on what they want their body to look like or be. Or if they're happy or unhappy with it. They can look like whatever they want. They don't have to go to the gym. Like, you are placing your insecurity about your body on other people when you do this. And I don't know why dudes don't understand this. I don't think any of us will have issues rolling high enough to avoid psychic damage.
My view, typically, away from the computer especially, is a level of indifference. Online, I like to make it a point to criticise where I believe perhaps this could be in bad faith, could be gaslighting, an ad hom, a straw man, a fallacy. All the things I like to criticise.
Post physique. Got to. He's got a post physique.
But you've got to get to a point where it doesn't seem like you're huffing your own fart yet. So we'll bide our time.
And also, that's a tricky thing for.
It's crazy how he just poisoned the well.
Well, you haven't started huffing your farts, but I bet you will, you little SJW.
a lot of folks to do. Positivity is great, but there's also such a thing as toxic positivity.
Up until this moment, I had never heard of the term toxic positivity.
Really? So it's usually passive aggression, but there's also a form of like, you just enable somebody when you don't ever check them on things. So yeah, I mean, it's a thing. Never heard of toxic positivity. I mean, just think about it.
And because I've been on the internet long enough, positivity. Toxic positivity is the pressure to only display positive emotions, suppressing any negative emotions, feelings, reactions, or experiences.
So people do this on Facebook.
It is claimed to invalidate human experience and can lead to trauma, isolation, and unhealthy coping mechanisms. I wonder what kind they'd be in the context of body positivity.
As focusing so much on the positive that you can't have any of the uncomfortable or painful feelings about it.
Now this is fascinating because there's a point here. We've often on this channel discussed people who constantly seek to be elevated by demand. Because
no one's asking to be elevated. I do not understand what that means. Elevated. From what to what?
they believe they're being oppressed. So what they do, because they can't win through demands and forcing it, is through their own content. They will constantly, especially on TikTok where you pump out 3 to 4 videos a day, constantly produce content to look like you are toxic positivity by the definition I provided and the one provided by the person we're covering today. If one cannot for a moment introspect and all they do is huff their own farts,
Yes, Squid Man?
you will find they have become so full of themselves, they won't be able to lift off the ground. Wrong gas. No.
You're doing that! You do that, though! He has only huffed his farts the whole time. The whole time he's had, like, literally the way this character is standing, plus his demeanor is like, well, I'm sure he'll say something stupid in the future, so I guess I'll just bide my time. Like, what? You're doing the thing. It'll never cease to amaze me how often these guys will say stuff like that and have no fucking self-reflection whatsoever. Just goddamn none of it. What are you doing right now, Squidward? Thanks for the biddies.
No, they will fail to grow, which is somewhat ironic.
And that's not what we want.
Fat joke.
Body acceptance is a much more neutral goal.
Is that a good thing, though? You often
Yes. Right. Body acceptance is just like, you don't have to feel the need to judge people's bodies constantly. Right? And so that was like baked into us as a culture because of like, the 80s, 90s, 2000s hyper fucking skinny was the like ideal, I guess. But I've never met a whole group of people that skinny. I've met a group of people and like 1 out of 10 will be pretty skinny. You know what I mean? There's not like, these aren't most people. So the ideal doesn't like fit anybody's lifestyle or like even their body type. A lot of people are never going to be skinny like that, no matter how much they don't eat. It just isn't in the cards for them, the way their biology works, or the type of work they do, or the region they work at, the type of diet they have based on their dietary need, or like restrictions and stuff. Like, it's so much more complex than that. So it's not about being fat or thin or fit or whatever. It's just about like everybody just has bodies, man. We don't have to like constantly be like, hey, your body looks like shit or good or whatever. It's just. And also, straight up, and this is 100% true, most people are attracted to big people. That's just a fact. Most people are. Some people have usually the people that say that they're not actually are, usually fetishize us, and also get embarrassed when they have other people find out that they're attracted to big people. Like whether it's like really, really big or just a little tummy or dad bod situation or whatever. Little thickness. It's like, it's super normal. I've had people attracted to me my whole life, and I've been a big guy my whole life. Even at my fittest, I was a bigger guy than a lot of the guys around. And not even like fat, necessarily. Just always bigger. And it's just like, it's like, man, your projection on this is so, it's always so interesting how often they project this kind of shit. There's posts where dudes will be going or ladies will be going, doesn't matter. Just a big person will go to the gym. They'll be like, "Oop, here's my fitness journey. I've been doing this for a month now. I'm gonna keep doing it," and then they'll slowly lose weight and get in shape or whatever. And the whole time they're harassed. Like, they're like, "What are you even going to the fucking gym for? You're fat." And it's like, what? There was an ad the other day on Twitter for like plus size workout wear, and a guy tweeted like, "Ha ha ha." Like, why? What are they doing that mannequin for? And it's like, isn't working out for people who should be working out, like, in your opinion, need to lose weight, right? Like, that's your shape. That's your take. They need to lose weight. Then what the fuck are they going to wear when they do that? Jeans? Fucking stupid.
Often find with movements, they are under scrutiny, they will be scrutinized, interrogated, simply approaching body acceptance with a level of neutrality.
This guy sounds like, if he was not using this Rantsona, would not have deeply held body acceptance for him and his visage. You feel me? You know how people just sound like they're not super attractive? Here it is. This is the embodiment of a soft British white guy, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't fit the ideal he's describing, that you wouldn't be attracted to.
Or to accept it as neutral, could be then co-opted like fat acceptance, which you'll speak about in the second video. And I find because of that, because people push the extreme side of it as if that should just be accepted, the concept becomes poison, and then it loses its way, it loses its meaning, and those who are of the larger size, who have co-opted the words, the movement, believe that they now have a new term to latch onto so they can act like an even bigger victim.
I guess I just don't feel that that's what's happening at all. Most of these people are just like, hey, you don't always have to fucking comment on shit, man. Like you look like shit if I look like shit. Like, if I look like shit, you big time look like shit. Remember when Mayor Monday tried to body shame my ass? And he's like, trying to be nice. Not a good looking guy, right? Like, he's just sort of bawling and shit. Like, this is what I mean. Like, how are these people like this all the time? How are they like this? It's projection. It's just gotta be projection. Summons the giant sea turtle. Should have summoned the corn thulu earlier. Now we're stuck. We're stuck with it.
It is being okay with, here it is.
Attractiveness has little to do with weight, honestly. It really that's true for the most part.
This is what it is, and that's okay.
We don't deal in tautologies here, nor absolutes. We deal in the grey area. Hello, Tilly.
There's more cat stuff.
I think that's a much more reasonable goal for most people to reach. And it might be a stop on the way to positivity, to taking delight in your body, but it's also a pretty good place to land, is just being able to accept that this is my body that I live in, and this is okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with what is being said here. To like be like okay with your body and happy with your body. Like, if you feel okay, that's good. If you don't feel okay, maybe we got to do some stuff, but that's okay too. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to have work to do on something if you feel like it, but it's not okay for you to impress that on somebody else, to say that they have to do it like for you or something. It's just weird, like to harass somebody for the way they look. I've never understood this. They want people to feel shame. Well, it's tough. I don't feel any shame about it. Anything I feel about, literally the only person that can tell me that I'm unattractive is myself. It does not work. No one else in the whole fucking world can make me feel unattractive but me. I don't think this works on people.
So as a sentiment for yourself, there is nothing inherently wrong with what you've said at all. Truly. Because you're speaking of it from a position of what it means to you. The problem you have is, in the grander scheme of social media, and mainstream especially, the idea of body positivity has been co-opted, not to accepting individuals for who they are, but into demanding everyone accept them for who they are.
No, that's you fucking whining. No one has said that. No. It's just, I think this must be when we get to the point where it's like, okay, so you, an outside person, do not have to randomly comment on somebody else's body. Like your impulse to shame someone is rooted in your fucking problems, not theirs. Right? It's not natural to feel the need to want to shame and make fun of some random fucking person that you see and haven't heard a thing from. There's nothing a transphobe can say about my physique that I haven't said worse to myself and will never be able to impact me.
Into everyone being told this should be normalized, but it shouldn't. It is a form of gluttony, the kind that is harmful to one's health.
So this is the part where it's like, it isn't a form of gluttony, which is like, are you like a Christian? What the fuck? A form of gluttony? Yikes. So you don't have to be a glutton to be a fat person. You have to have poor nutrition or be sedentary or have a bunch of other stuff go on. You could just be lazy. You know, I like to be lazy sometimes for sure. But I also have, it hurts to move a lot because I have an injury. I have multiple injuries. And so it's like I can't work out at the rate I used to. And so, fuck it. I like my body for the most part. I don't like it 100%, but I don't like myself when I'm skinny. Like, I don't like myself at my thinnest. Right? But that's me. That's a me thing. It doesn't have to be like you. It means, man, you trying to shame me for something is like fucking weird. I don't know how do you articulate this to a dumbass? How do you articulate that you are a worm and the impulse you have to shame someone for a thing that has nothing to fucking do with you? Like how do you impress upon them how small your brain has to be to find it like, well, I'm just shaming them because I care about their health. Oh, really? I'm sure that would stand up. How about their mental health? I'm sure that would stand up throughout this whole thing. A form of gluttony. It's harmful to one's health. You have to post physique.
Second video concerns fat acceptance. This should be interesting, as it is a direct follow-up to the first video.
So in my last video, I was talking about body acceptance and body positivity. Today I want to talk about fat acceptance and fat positivity.
Whereas when it comes to body acceptance and body positivity,
right, which would go for anyone from any body type.
which I generally accept. I don't really have an issue with any of that. I cannot accept fat acceptance.
That's interesting. But so fat acceptance is underneath body positivity, right? Body acceptance.
And fat positivity. Reason why is fat acceptance should not be normalized. Some might say it's a part of body positivity. No, it's not. It really isn't. There are types of body positivity I fully support, but then there are types that are actually fat acceptance, masking itself as body acceptance, body positivity, when
What's he talking about? Is he just mad when people are overweight? Great Britain, man, has fucked this guy's brain up. He's like, they eat too many fucking mushy peas and beans on toast. I don't like it. Winston Churchill was a great man, however.
Oi, mate. Ever heard of Winston Churchill? He's eating sausages and beans. That's our one fat we allow. One fat per island.
really it shouldn't be. There are versions of body acceptance and body positivity I am 100% behind. The umbrella term of fat acceptance.
I need to see your body. Show me full frontal nudity right now, immediately. I want to see all your creases. You better be a fucking hottie. You better be a goddamn smoke show. If you're bald as shit, fuck you. If you don't have a full ass Chad chin, fuck you. I need to see it. Don't show me your goddamn Sona. Show me. Don't be a fucking, what is this, a tentacle-y? Sort of like a furry, but a tentacle guy. Nothing wrong with that. You can do that. But you can't body shame people and hide. You can't do both. You must body shame people openly. You have to do it that way. A scaly, they don't have scales. They're octopi. These don't have scales.
He's not
Cephalopods.
one of them.
Because a lot of the time, the thing that keeps us from feeling good about our bodies is
A
our
sucky.
fat.
Go to.
What?
From feeling good about our bodies is our fat.
Go to. Hold on. Yellow. Ha! I have them right here. Oh yeah, I'll tell them.
Go to the phone.
Absolutely. You can count on me. Of course. You got it. Anytime. The best. Go to the fucking gym.
And that is an unfortunate consequence of the culture that we live in right now.
Yeah, man.
You're right.
So pay for ankle reconstruction surgery so I can do that. You know?
It is an unfortunate consequence that we have so much in abundance that we
If we had health care, I'd be much fitter. we just don't have, we don't live in that country, man.
have so much conveniently available that many are unwilling to make certain changes to live longer, fuller, happier lives because they have
Where are them free gyms at? Ooh, some free gyms would be nice.
settled for the shorter, slower, less complete life. There are many who have medical conditions that I can 100% support and understand as reasons for why one puts on weight. There are things that do inhibit one's ability to do things.
It's crazy. So there's like 100-year-old fat people. This isn't necessarily the case. You are at higher risk of having some complications if you're fat, depending on the circumstances that led to the weight gain, but not necessarily because of course not, right? You could eat a wide variety of foods, lead a relatively sedentary lifestyle, and just not have a calorie deficit all the time, and you just be maybe you're a writer or something. Maybe you do trucks. Oftentimes, it's a variety of things, but a lot of it is due to the lack of nutrition that capitalism offers us when we are forced to survive on dollars, but also use it to buy food. So you buy sometimes less nutritious things. And then, of course, there's the aspect of, well, now those are things that I grew up with and like, so it's hard to take that out of someone's diet once you encourage that kind of behavior. Sugary drinks, big problem. The way that we subsidize, corn syrup type stuff. So a lot of it is just, it's not just like people's choices, it's also like, were you poor? If you're poor, you're more likely to be fat. And this is because of the sort of like reverso nature of how capitalism works. We can get really high calorie, high fat, low nutrition foods that will increase your body weight but malnourish you. So now you're not going to have like the fucking stuff you need to actually have your body, have good metabolism, have your macros all met. Now we have some good science and it's getting a little bit easier for people to have access to this. But like that was not the case at the turn of the century, after World War II and into the fucking 2000s. Right? For everybody involved in the whole world. Searching the internet, this man has never posted face, and he never fucking will, because we all know he's a Great Britain 3, okay? And that's a regular world slop barrel. That sucks.
Paralysis being an obvious one, but you believe, which is where this is going, that actually it's the other people, those that are thinner, who are championed as thin culture. I'm not entirely sure, but when I'm recording, I gesture with my hands, and I was touching my chest while doing that. Makes sense, though. I am not fat.
Prove it.
And it's ridiculous.
Prove it.
But
Prove
we
it.
have been so conditioned to think that fat is bad, that fat is something to be afraid of, that it's something to be ashamed of.
I don't think if you are overweight that you should be ashamed or afraid of what you have. Unless your intention is to lose it, then you should fear it, because it is a consequence of losing control. If you
Dude, is this guy a stoic? He sounds like a normal right winger. He's like, you can't lose control, you can't break frame. You can't show any weakness.
you don't have control over basic urges, what is to stop you from making other bad decisions?
It's interesting that he thinks it's just people cramming food into their mouth. Sometimes it is. Sometimes dudes just be eating candy too much. Dudes just be shoving sugar and fucking, goo into their mouth at all times of the day. And that is a problem. Some people have eating disorders, but that's a real eating disorder. That's an eating disorder. You can't just be mad at someone for not having control. It's an eating disorder, dude. Man, it's interesting. We could really stand to have actual intellectuals in the world. Just real smart ones.
In your life. As far as thinking that society's been conditioned to think that fat is bad, you're right, unless we're bulking for the winter. But then we have thermals now, so we don't need those. We don't need to carry something we end up spending the first 2 seasons of the year burning off in a shred season. Fat is necessary to an extent. There are good fats and there are bad fats.
Sort of, yeah, I mean, kind of. It's about... He's going to say, no saturated fats, only the good fats from your avocado, which are high in saturated fat. We lost that privilege in 2016, Tro. We did. We lost it.
In foods, there are that. If you know the science, it is very much obvious.
That it is really hard to find...
The science. Gives no examples of the science, just sort of vaguely gestures at the science. The science that's out there. So typically we find that you can't be too skinny or you're going to have bad health. But you can't be too fat or you're going to have bad health. Man, just have whatever body you are comfortable in, and if you want to make changes, you can make changes. There's no shame in that. But this is a lot of the reason. So some of this shit is why people never do make changes. And it's like, if you cared about fat people going to the gym, you would make that space inviting to them. You know what I mean? I loved going to like basketball gyms and stuff and playing basketball. And again, I've always been a bigger guy than a lot of the guys, and I don't know. The space is not open to people at a certain point. They are all deeply insecure. And so it's hard to go into a deeply insecure space of dude bros and have them take out their fucking problems on you when you're just like, I don't know, this person trying to go to fucking Planet Fitness in the middle of the night and try to see if this is for you. If it was a comfy space, people would do it more.
Of that, let alone positivity.
You haven't been on social media much, have you? It's kind of everywhere. I cover it here quite often, mostly because not only do I fundamentally disagree with it, but I often regard those within it as a poisonous limb of humanity, which is, I know, a little harsh. But if you didn't know, over here I'm quite known for it.
And I think that
He's known for being harsh. Cool, man.
being able to find that acceptance, being able to say,
You remember, if you didn't have enough body fat, it can cause you to stop having a period. Remember that being an issue for a lot of track athletes and cross-country runners back in high school? Yeah, I had a really good friend. She ran a lot of cross-country, and she ran all the time, wanted me to run. I was like, fuck, no, I'm not running with you. We can hang out, but I'm not going to run with you. You run really far and fast. And she literally would text me something like, hey, you want to go for a run? Fucking no. I'm not going to go for a run with you. How 5 miles? Nah, I'm gonna do one at home, play some basketball or something. Hell no, fucking cross country kids. They were crazy. I had like a handful of cross country friends because our school was pretty good at it. And man, we're gonna run in the woods? Not really, man.
say, hey, there's fat on my body,
Hurts my
and
ankles.
I'm still amazing. I'm still beautiful.
So it had been speculated that one of the reasons why fat positivity was being championed instead of fat acceptance was because fat acceptance is a bit toxic. So something else needs to exist to elevate those who are overweight, who want to, well, be like the individual we're covering today. So
What are you talking about? What? I'm fat, but I love going for runs, done marathons and everything. Fuck the haters. I like running, but it hurts me. So no is the answer. I do like it, but I was born with a birth defect, and I can't. I can't do it for a long time. It fucking sucks. It just hurts me.
self-righteous and full of themselves, with some positive messages sprinkled at a semi-infrequent rate.
I'm still a worthwhile human being,
so
which is the most
pompous.
important part. Whether or not you're beautiful, whether or not you're healthy, you're still a completely worthwhile and awesome human being, deserving of every little bit of respect.
Deserving human being? Sure, humanity totally deserves something. Respect is not one of them. It is
So basic human respect is something you have nominal, like just as is. Like if I'm in the store and I see you, I'm not gonna go, "Hey, you fat fuck! Why aren't you buying more vegetables?" Because I mean, you can live your life however you want to live it. I'm not gonna try to do anything. You lose respect through actions, sure, but this not just by you don't just have zero respect for me as a baseline. And this is the difference between Rantsonas and real people.
is vitally important that you understand you cannot go through life believing you are entitled to another person's respect because of your identity where fat is on it.
What? That's not what the person is saying. This guy's fucking brain dead. He actually just makes stuff up? What? He just spends time online behind his Rantsona finding really none of the takes in this were bad. This was just like baseline positivity that he isn't really even disagreeing with. He's making stuff up about it and saying, well, you base everything on your identity, which has not been explained at all in the video. Not been shown to be the case whatsoever.
Any identity, in fact. I don't know how many more times I can keep saying never expect nor demand respect. Yet here we are yet again with another individual pushing the dangerous message of you should respect me because
It's not dangerous to say that we should have respect for one another. Like, just they're not. Maybe as a British squid, he is misunderstanding what these words mean. But respect is not like a high bar. Like, respect isn't like, oh, God, I just respect you so much. I just think about you all the time, and I base my actions on your thoughts. And, like, man, Like, respect is something I have for someone over the course of time, but what was talked about was basic respect. And that is that, like, we each give each other social distance, not like in a COVID way, in like a, real life way. We give each other space in each other's bubbles. We don't know each other. You can do what you want. I'm doing what I want, right? I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to fucking make fun of you just walking around, right? With your little British bowler cap on, eating your fish and chips. You can eat the fish and chips on the streets. Brits aren't able to understand basic human decency. Going back in time and waiting to win the war until after the Blitzkrieg wins. Going back in time and not storming Normandy until 1946. Just kidding. That'd be bad. Actually, no. Going back in time and letting one more bomb fall on his grandfather. But what if you sneeze? Maintain eye contact fully. Oh, yeah, you have to. British squid. You don't have to put up with disrespect. You are perfectly entitled to set standards for the way other people treat you. Facts. Yes. If this guy disrespected me, I would... I wouldn't hear it because he'd be squid. He'd be in squid language.
Humanity is beautiful and wonderful.
This is
That's
through
not a good enough excuse. Respect is earned.
No matter how much fat is or
He's a
isn't
weird
on
guy.
your body. So being able to come to the acceptance of that being there and not losing weight be the focus of your life, I think is such a goal to strive for.
I'm going to hard disagree with that statement because
You think that a fat person should center their entire life on the pursuit of losing weight? This is fascinating. This is such a deep dive into the psyche of a man with deep insecurities. This might be dysmorphic.
it's not about losing weight. It's about being a size that is comfortable and the best version of you. If you believe this is the best version of you, fair enough. But don't try and push it onto others as if this should be normalized.
We'll try to push it onto other people as it should be normalized. So don't. We have to body shame people. We can't body praise people. We can't just say your body is fine to me. We have to say that I have a take on your body. That's what should be normalized. What is asking to be normalized is not to have the take. It's just to be like, yeah, I don't care what your body is like. Because I actually don't care what your body is like, chat. Unless it's pressed against mine in the moment. But I still don't care what it looks like if we're pressed together. To be honest. We're already there. I actually really don't care. Literally, he is the one pushing how other people should look on them. Yep, this is the same thing that happens when they go like, don't, hey, we need free speech. Don't censor artists. And then when Mortal Kombat makes tits smaller, they're like, no, don't do that art. Not the art that way. Do a different art. The art that I wanted you to do, which is, of course, censoring an artist. That is telling them a different way to do their art, which is the thing they're saying not to do. But when they do it, it's fine. This is the same exact situation. Don't try to normalize that behavior because it counters the behavior that I have normalized. Don't you see? Quebeca, give one to Ienzo. Thank you so much.
Society constantly worries about children being obese.
Do they? Wait, what? Society constantly worries about children being obese. Is this true? You come from a fucked up family. I've never heard a family talk about, well, we better not make our kid fat. Like, maybe if the kid is, like, pretty fat, but pretty much every kid goes through a chubby phase minimum because kids are growing and they need some resources so their bodies can, their bodies need resources so that they can grow. You're going to have chubby kids sometimes. You ever seen a chubby kid grow and not be chubby anymore? That's what's happening there. A lot of the problems with chubby kids is the poverty. Typically, it's one of the two things. It's poverty driving poor dietary choices. I can call them choices, but they're not really choices. Poor dietary options for these people, or two, it's someone who doesn't really have a good understanding of nutrition, and that's fine too. And then they feed their kids like too much candy or some shit. But most people are like pretty conscious of not making their kids fat, but just making sure that they eat vegetables. It's not about a fat thing. It's about like, I think my kids should have nutrients. Like, man, I've never known parents to be worried about making their kids super fat. Ever. Yeah, they just want them to eat stuff. Hopefully, some stuff that's good.
The moment they become adults, it stops. It goes from a negative to a positive. It should never be that way. And if you only ever focus on losing weight and you don't do it, it's because you're approaching it as a diet and not as a simple lifestyle change where you control things a bit more. Exerting control over things is effort. There is nothing wrong with effort. There really isn't. Anything worth doing isn't easy.
I agree that you should put effort into stuff. This isn't... There are some people who don't like to do effort because the chance of failure is too much for them. They feel like if they try to do something and fail to do it, that it feels bad. I have the opposite mentality. Shoot or shoot. Keep fucking shooting. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Shoot yourself up by your shoot straps, chat. That's right.
Never is.
And if we can...
That's stupid. I mean, there's lots of reasons that people won't be able to do that kind of shit. It's not just about mind over matter, dude. It's really case by case. Not every single person is chubby. Where's my lighter? I just dropped that shit. Not every person is chubby because they're lazy or don't want to do, like, fucking gym or eat lettuce. It's very complicated. You're afraid of failure? You shouldn't be! Because we're little monkeys. We're not supposed to be perfect. What the fuck? Professionals in every field fail constantly. That's the whole thing. It's like they fail every day. So. Your standards are too high. Make them smaller. I have autism and can only eat potatoes. Potatoes are good for you.
go further to positivity and celebrating, even better. But yeah, accepting our bodies, accepting the body we live in, I think is a really helpful and important thing for so many of us.
If you treat it as an individual, personal thing, sure. If it is treated, as it often is in wider society, as something that should be accepted by everyone else.
I'm very interested in why you don't like, as a British fucking miser, I don't understand why you don't like two people not knowing each other, each accepting each other's bodies for how they are, instead of deriding each other for them. Like, in practice, what are you fucking opposed to? What is being advocated for in social practice is quite easy and obvious to get a hold of. Like, this is such an easy concept to be for.
When many do not want to agree with it. No. Also, you are comparing body positivity and fat positivity. Body acceptance, fat acceptance. You treated them in two separate videos as two separate things, and then at the end you essentially put them all together, rendering the entire point of them being individual moot.
I mean, I feel like there's a big difference between acceptance and positivity. One is an affirmation and the other one is more neutral. They're not the same. They discuss this in the video.
Typical, really, isn't it? As goalposts always in flux.
Goalposts in flux? What the fuck? I cannot believe that he found stuff to be upset about during these videos. Like, what is he mad about? Rainbow Spring Wellness was quite reasonable in all of this? Just seems like a miserable fucking guy. I would not like to live in a world where people don't judge each other all the time. That would be terrible.